A ver, ¿me están escuchando? Tenemos problemas, dificultades de conexión. Tenemos dificultades de conexión. Vamos a ver qué pasa aquí. Probando, probando.
Chapter 1. The Flowering of Human Consciousness.
A ver si se escucha. ¿Cómo me escucha?
Evocation.
Evocation.
Earth, 114 million years ago, one morning just after sunrise. The first flower ever to appear on the planet opens up to receive the rays of the sun. Prior to this momentous event that heralds an evolutionary transformation in the life of plants, the planet had already been covered in vegetation for millions of years. The first flower probably did not survive for long, and flowers must have remained rare and isolated phenomena, since conditions were most likely not yet favorable for widespread flowering to occur. One day, however, the critical threshold was reached, and suddenly there would have been an explosion of color and scent all over the planet, if the perceiving consciousness had been there to witness it. Much later, those delicate and fragrant beings we call flowers would come to play an essential part in the evolution of consciousness of another species. Humans would increasingly be drawn to and fascinated by them. As the consciousness of human beings developed, flowers were most likely the first thing they came to value which had no utilitarian purpose for them, that is to say, was not linked in some way to survival. They provided inspiration to countless artists, poets, and mystics. Jesus tells us to contemplate the flowers and learn from them how to live. The Buddha is said to have given a silent sermon once, during which he held up a flower and gazed at it. After a while, one of those present, a monk called Mahakasyapa, began to smile. He is said to have been the only one who had understood the sermon. According to legend, that smile, that is to say realization, was handed down by 28 successive masters and much later became the origin of Zen. Seeing beauty in a flower could awaken humans, however briefly, to the beauty that is an essential part of their own innermost being, their true nature. The first recognition of beauty was one of the most significant events in the evolution of human consciousness. The feelings of joy and love are intrinsically connected to that recognition. Without fully realizing it, flowers would become for us an expression in form of that which is most high, most sacred, and ultimately formless within ourselves. Flowers, more fleeting, more ethereal, and more delicate than the plants out of which they emerged, would become like messengers from another realm, like a bridge between the world of physical forms and the formless. They not only had a scent that was delicate and pleasing to humans, but also brought a fragrance from the realm of spirit. Using the word enlightenment in a wider sense than the conventionally accepted one, we could look upon flowers as the enlightenment of plants. Any life form in any realm, mineral, vegetable, animal, or human, can be said to undergo enlightenment. It is, however, an extremely rare occurrence, since it is more than an evolutionary progression. It also implies a discontinuity in its development, a leap to an entirely different level of being, and, most important, a lessening of materiality. What could be heavier and more impenetrable than a rock, the densest of all forms? And yet, Some rocks undergo change in their molecular structure, turn into crystals, and so become transparent to the light. Some carbons, under inconceivable heat and pressure, turn into diamonds, and some heavy minerals into other precious stones. Most crawling reptilians, the most earthbound of all creatures, have remained unchanged.
Tenemos dificultades en la transmisión. Un momento, por favor. Un poco de paciencia. Estamos tratando de recuperar aquí la transmisión. A todos los académicos, personas que les guste la filosofía, tenemos entonces aquí a Eckhart Tolle, un nuevo existencialista contemporáneo muy bueno, que los invito entonces a seguirlo escuchando. Tenemos problemas entonces en la transmisión, tenemos problemas, lo haré un poco más adelante. Este en vivo lo repetiré porque me está fallando el internet. Ahora tenemos un aguacero y el internet está sube que baja. Entonces, muchísimas gracias por estar ahí. Te espero para la próxima.